For every swing, every moment, the Milwaukee Brewers fight. It's not just about hitting the ball, it's about leaving a legacy.
What if I told you the missing piece for our team isn't a famous slugger, but a pitcher who is completely off everyone's radar? The Brewers have identified a hidden advantage on the market, a true diamond in the rough. I'm about to show you who he is and why this is the smartest move we can make. Click subscribe right now, or you're gonna miss the scoop. What's up, Brew Crew? Welcome back to your #1 news channel for all things Milwaukee Brewers. I'm your host, and if you want the hottest intel, the breaking scoops, and the most in-depth analysis on our team, you've come to the right place. Before we dive into today's topic, which is absolutely fascinating, I'm asking that if you're new here or haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications. Your subscription immensely helps the channel continue to bring you exclusive content and keep our community of Brewers fans the most informed in the league. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming. Hello everyone, and thanks for joining me. Today we have a topic that's simmering behind the scenes and could very well define the direction of our season. While many eyes are on the big impact names in the trade market, like Eugenio Suarez, my sources and a careful analysis of general manager Matt Arnold's tendencies are telling me to look in another direction. A much more subtle, yet potentially a much more Brewers direction. The news circulating in tighter circles, which reporter Jason Wang of Brewer Fanatic brilliantly touched upon, is that the Brewers might get really spicy and pursue a target no one is talking about: Tampa Bay Rays left-handed pitcher Mason Montgomery. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mason who? It's not a name that jumps off the page like an established all-star, and that's exactly why this move has Matt Arnold's fingerprints all over it. Let's break this down with the depth it deserves. The July 31st trade deadline is fast approaching, and our team's most pressing need, despite our overall success, remains the bullpen. Yes, our offense has been resilient, and our starting rotation has exceeded expectations. But bullpen consistency is the key to turning a good season into a World Series campaign, and that's where the conversation gets interesting. We have Trevor Megal. And what a season he is having, a deserving all-star with a 2.07 ERA and 21 saves so far. He's become an anchor, a dominant force at the back end of games. With a closer of that caliber, the need isn't necessarily to go after another elite ninth inning name like an Emmanuel Clase or a Juan Duran. The cost to acquire those players would be astronomical in terms of prospects, and honestly, it would be an allocation of resources that doesn't fit the Milwaukee philosophy. Likewise, a name like Ryan Helsley from our division rival St. Louis Cardinals seems out of the question. The price would be inflated, and trading within the division for a high-impact player is always a tricky business. So, where do Matt Arnold and the front office focus? They focus on value. They focus on untapped potential. The Brewers' philosophy, which we've seen work time and time again, is to find pitchers with premium stuff. That is, one or two elite tools who perhaps haven't put it all together at the major league level yet. They trust their development system, led by pitching coach Chris Hook, to mold these raw talents into valuable contributors. And this is where Mason Montgomery's name fits perfectly into the puzzle. Montgomery, a 25-year-old, was a 6th-round pick by the Rays in 2021. He's a lefty, which in itself adds immense strategic value to any bullpen. But what really catches the eyes of scouts and data analysts are his Stuff Plus metrics. For those unfamiliar, Stuff Plus is an advanced metric that grades the physical qualities of a pitcher's offerings: velocity, spin, movement, independent of the results. And Montgomery's metrics are, according to inside sources, excellent. His four-seam fastball has a ride, the illusion of rising as it approaches the plate, that generates a lot of swings and misses at the top of the strike zone. His slider is another devastating weapon, with sharp horizontal movement that is particularly effective against left-handed hitters, but can also freeze righties. His surface-level numbers in the MLB this year with the Rays won't blow you away. A 5.74 ERA and a 1.66 whip across 31.1 innings pitched. He was inconsistent enough for Tampa Bay to option him back to AAA in early July. But that is precisely the profile the Brewers love. an undervalued player with elite tools who can be acquired without having to give up the top prospects from our farm system. Think about it. The Rays are an organization known for their pitching depth. To them, Montgomery might be a tradable asset, a piece they can afford to move to fill other gaps. For the Brewers, he could be the next reclamation project success story, the next diamond in the rough to be polished. And we don't have to look far for an example of this. Look at Quinn Priester this season. Acquired from the Pirates, Priester was a former first-round prospect who was struggling to find his footing. The Brewers brought him in, tweaked his pitch arsenal, notably encouraging the use of a new cutter, and the results have been spectacular. Priester is boasting a 9-2 record with a 3.28 ERA. He's become a cornerstone of our rotation. This isn't an accident, it's a pattern. It's the result of an organization that knows how to identify talent where others don't, and more importantly, knows how to maximize that talent. The prospect of doing the same with a high-stuff lefty like Montgomery should have the Brew crew extremely excited. This is a smart, calculated play with a massive potential upside. Continuing our analysis of the potential Mason Montgomery acquisition, it's crucial to understand the why behind this strategy. Beyond the simple buy low philosophy, the Brewers bullpen, while having its bright spots, has been overworked. The stats show our relief corps is among the league leaders in innings pitched. That heavy workload is a recipe for fatigue late in the season and into the playoffs. Adding a fresh quality arm like Montgomery's isn't just a luxury, it's a strategic necessity to keep our key relievers like Megel, Hobie Milner, and Joe Payamp strong for the October stretch run. Montgomery's inconsistency with the Rays, which led to his inflated ERA, can be traced to one primary factor: command. He posted a high walk rate, 19 walks in 31 innings, which shows that while his stuff is electric, he's still learning to harness it at the highest level. And this is where the magic of the Brewer system can come into play. Our pitching coaches are masters at making the small mechanical and approach-based tweaks that can unlock a pitcher's potential. Whether it's a slight adjustment on the rubber, a change in delivery tempo, or a new pitch sequencing strategy, it's these details that turn a thrower into a pitcher. With Montgomery, the blueprint would be clear. Bring him in, work intensively on his command within the strike zone, and deploy his elite stuff in high-leverage situations, perhaps initially as a lefty specialist or in middle innings to bridge the gap to our setup men and closer. With 41 strikeouts in just 31.1 innings, the swing and miss ability is undeniable. That translates to a staggering 11.8 K9, strikeouts per 9 innings. That is an elite rate, indicating he has the ability to get himself out of jams without relying on the defense. In a bullpen, that is an invaluable quality. Comparing this potential trade to the pursuit of a bat like Eugenio Suarez perfectly illustrates the front office's crossroads. Suarez would bring undeniable power, a big name that would excite the fan base and add an impact bat to the middle of the lineup. However, the cost would be prohibitive. The Arizona Diamondbacks, knowing the desperation of some teams for offense, would demand a package of top-tier prospects. Furthermore, Suarez is a short-term rental, a player for a couple of months who would become a free agent at the end of the season. That means we would be surrendering years of control over young talent for a 2-month solution. The Montgomery trade, on the other hand, is the opposite. The cost would be significantly lower. Likely 1 or 2 mid-tier prospects who, while valuable, would not compromise the future of the organization. And most importantly, Montgomery is only 25 and is under team control for many years to come. He would not be a rental. He would be an investment, a piece that can help immediately in 2025 and continue to be a key part of our bullpen for multiple seasons. It's the difference between a splash move and a smart move. And historically, Matt Arnold and the Brewers prefer the smart move. So the final analysis is this. The pursuit of Mason Montgomery is the kind of strategic, analytically informed, and future-oriented move that has become the hallmark of the Brewers front office. It ignores the noise around the big names and focuses on a real team need, bullpen depth and elite level stuff, in a way that is sustainable and high upside. It represents the organization's confidence in its own development system to maximize the potential of a pitcher with top-tier tools. While a trade for a big-name bat would generate more headlines, the acquisition of a lefty like Montgomery could quietly be the piece that solidifies this team for a long run in October. Now, I want to hear from you, the Brew Crew. What are your thoughts on this strategy? Would you rather the front office make a big splash and bring in an impact bat like Suarez, even if it costs a premium? Or do you trust the philosophy of buying low and developing a high upside talent like Mason Montgomery to fortify the bullpen? Which move do you believe gets us closer to a World Series? Drop your comments below. I read them all. That's it for today, folks. Straight in-depth analysis, just like we always do. For more breaking scoops and daily updates on everything Milwaukee Brewers, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on. The road to October is a long one, and we'll be here covering every single step of the way. Go, Brewers!